Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Late Night at the Lounge here on Dead Money Sports. Just wrapped up the Monday Night Football, and what a game that was! Oh my goodness! You want to talk about had me jumping around the whole night? Jacksonville plus 3.5 was our last leg. We were 2-2 going into Monday Night Football, so we needed Jacksonville to cover the spread to get us a positive week. And boy, what a finish. When they kicked the field goal with 8 minutes to go, I actually posted on X that I'm going to slowly watch my plus 3.5 lose because it was setting up perfectly for the Chiefs to win by 4. But because they ended up scoring so quickly, and then the kickoff going out of bounds, giving them the ball at the 40-yard line was just huge. It's completely set them up, to where they were close enough where they were a couple of first downs really got them where you thought they were going to score the touchdown. And then that great catch and throw by Brian Thomas Jr. by Trevor Lawrence, man, that catch made up for all the drops he's had in the game. And what a finish, man. What a finish. Well, I hope everybody out there had a great week. Obviously, like I said, we are 3-2. Why does it say 2-3? 3-2, man. We got to make sure we're keeping this score proper. Don't want to cheat ourselves out of any points here. There we go. Sorry, I should have put that on the other, but I didn't. But anyway, back to 3-2. We are 14-11 right now on the season. We're about 2 to 3 points up behind the first place right now. So, had we been able to actually get the 5-0, we'd be inside the top 100. But we are close. We're inside the top 1,000. We are somewhere in the neighborhood of like 750 after 5 weeks, 14-11. Now, this week, the top 5 ended up going 2-3. And if you saw the show Saturday, I talked about my reservations with the Seahawks secondary. And I was going back and forth on that game. And that's just a reminder to myself and to anyone out there who might be competing in these types of contests, that if you have reservations about a side or a game you can't decide on, you should move on and find a better spot. Because I went back and forth with Tampa Bay and Seattle, and I ended up taking Seattle because they were apparently they were getting less money than Tampa Bay. But Tampa was the right side. Our Broncos got it done. That was a game where they had to come from behind. The Bills, man, what a disappointing game that was. I mean, they played their worst game of the year. And still only lose by 3 points to New England. But, that's another one of those games where, we were on New England a week before when they were minus 5.5 and they ended up covering against Carolina. And I've said it before, I really think Mike Vrabel on a game-to-game basis is probably the best strategizer in the NFL now that Bill Belichick's gone. He's able to create game plans to make the other team play left-handed and make them play the type of game he wants to play, which was ugly, low scoring, gritty, came down to a field goal, and Buffalo lost. So they're moving down in my power rankings for sure. You can't have that many penalties and turnovers and not drop and lose the game. Like I said on social media, had they even won, I would have dropped them. As of right now, Detroit Lions are the number 1 team power ranking wise, and they are just covering machines. Minus 10, they were still one of the top 5 picks, and they got the cover. I mean, they are an ATM since Dan Campbell and Jared Goff took over. Last year, in the contest, I benefited from that because I think I rode that wave for like 4 games straight with Detroit. I should have done it again this year. But so again, we're 3-2 on the week, 14-11 right now in the contest. I can look. I don't think it's been updated. This hasn't been updated officially yet. Yeah, because it's still saying I'm 13-11. It hasn't added the extra point to move me to 14. But I'm right now. I'm at 909. So like I said, I'm going to be maybe inside of 700. So we are looking good. I do have a strategy of how I try to break down the full contest. The first 4 weeks, I want 14 points. The middle 10 weeks, I want 33 points. And the final 4 weeks, I want 14 points. You do that, you get to 61 points. That would put you in the top 10. That would more than you would win at minimum 5 figures with a 61 points. Even with the way that some of these leaders are going right now, that they're sitting at 81. 2 people are sitting at 85%, I think, with 21 points, 21-4 on the year. But they'll eventually have some down weeks. It always happens. Look at some of the guys that were leading for the first quarter, dropping down because they've had tough weeks. It's always hard to keep that going. I mean, he is the one. I think he went 1-4 this week, so he really has been taking it on the chin. But so, yep, great week altogether. I mean, I would have liked to have gotten a 5-0, but the fact that we were able to stay positive, not lose points, gain points, is great. I hope everybody out there had good weeks on your personal bets and if you're in any contests. But now we can move on to Survivor, which was a absolute bloodbath. And the Chiefs just added to it with an extra 23. So officially, I believe, if my math is correct, which it's probably not, they lost 7,758 entries. The top 2 teams both lost outright. The Rams, the Cardinals. Then the Bills lost. Then the Seahawks lost. Then the Eagles lost. The Chiefs lost. But, I mean, it's really the Rams and the Bengals. Over 3,000 entries on each, and both of them lost. And if you were on the Cardinals, sorry about your luck, man. That may have been one of the most brutal ways to lose in a Survivor contest. Or to lose a bet or, anything like that. I mean, first the guy, again, another person dropping the football before they reach the end zone. I won't get it. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand what's the desire with needing to drop the ball before you know you're 5 feet inside the paint. Why is the ball even leaving your hand? Well, then they're still winning. And they get that ridiculous interception, and the defender fumbles the ball. It gets kicked around into the end zone and recovered by Tennessee. Oh, man. Brutal. I mean, that is $3.1 million in entry fees eliminated. I mean, it's insane. Insane. I mean, if you remove the there's 4,000 more, almost 5,000 more people from what this says right here. They already deducted the Rams, so there was only 8,875 entries remaining, and you just took out nearly 4,000 at least, right? Because you figure you got 31. Yeah, then the Bills, that's 4 right there. You add in the Seahawks and everybody else. You're talking another 4,200 entries, I think it is, something like that. So you've literally just obliterated this field. And you're only 5 weeks through. Now, this is not uncommon, I will say. I'm not in the Survivor contest because I'm not good at these type of contests. I would like to, but I just don't have an extra $1,000 to spend in knowing that I'm not very good at it. If I got better at this, I wouldn't mind putting up $1,000. But the fact that I didn't have it, plus that I'm not good at it, keeps me out of that contest. But man, I mean, just to see that many entries from the top getting knocked off in 1 week in such insane fashion. I mean, the Rams, they kind of got outplayed, but they still had a chance to win that game and couldn't do it. End up losing to the 49ers on Thursday night too. So, I mean, I know there's a lot of people who had both. There were a lot of people who had a bunch of their entries on the Rams and a bunch of their entries on the Cardinals, hedging against one of them losing, and they both lose. Unbelievable. I mean, it's crazy. Football is just such a weird game. I mean, look what just happened. I thought for sure I was going to be putting 3-2 up on the board this week. When I saw Patrick Mahomes get that ball back, after they kicked a field goal, I said, "We're done." You just gave the best quarterback in the league 8 minutes and 4 downs because they're going for it on 4th down to score a touchdown. And he knows he can move the ball down the field 10 yards at a time. That's why he ran twice. They even said it on the broadcast that he had 2 big runs for first downs. That's Patrick Mahomes' the whole career. I mean, the guy's leading the team in rushing right now at quarterback. He's not Lamar Jackson, but he knows when to take off and run, especially against man-to-man defense when they're not paying attention to him. Because the guy was a baseball player. Like, he is athletic. He knows how to move around. But damn. So you're looking at like 4,600 from the original 18,600 that started this contest. I mean, just absolutely pulverized this field. And it's one of those contests where you start out with 18,600. When you get to the final last week of this, you'll be lucky if you have 10 entries left. That's just how hard it is. It's hard just to pick winners in the NFL. Look at this weekend. Double-digit comebacks like crazy. And then you got the Grandissimo. Look at that. 20 more entries wiped out. $2 million in entry fees at $100,000 a pop, man. 5 weeks in, started out with 69 entries, 6.9 million. Winner takes all. This contest will have one winner, unless they choose to chop it. Unless the people get there's 2 entries left and they choose to split the prize money equally. If one person decides they want to play it till the end, they want to smoke it till the filter, you're going to see one person walk away with almost $7 million in prize money. 20 entries, 36.4% of the field eliminated. Another 4 with the Bills. I mean, you're looking at, what is there, 20? There's 16 entries left. 16 entries left after week 5. And it's because a lot of these people are choosing the same ones because, I mean, this was a big favorite. 8.5, I believe, or 7.5. Yeah, I think it might have been, I think it was 7.5, but still over a touchdown favorite. Playing a team with their practice squad wide receivers, and well, not really, but really banged up injury-wise. The Buffalo Bills at home on Sunday Night Football, supposed to be this juggernaut offensively. Kept hurting themselves with penalties and turnovers, uncharacteristic of their team. Colts put it on them, though. That was my number 1 pick. And I need to start changing that. I'm going to do that from this point on, because what I have been doing on the NFL contest show, is going in order of the start times for the games and not really going by the way I used to do it, which was to put the picks in order of my confidence. I mean, obviously, I like all five, but there are some games I like more than others. We only have so many games to choose from, and when you like this week, you had to choose five in a tough week to choose from with some of these matchups. It's there's some of them that you're gonna like more than others, and like I really like the Colts. That was why it was the number one pick. That's why it was the pick that I said was the only one that wasn't contrarian to which team was getting more money at the sports books. All the other four were, um, because I liked that particular game the most. So from this point on, when I release the picks on the NFL contest show on Saturdays at 6 p.m. right here on YouTube, um, I'll put them in order of my confidence. That way, when you if you watch the video or if you go through and just scroll to see which ones I have, at least you'll know. Okay, he likes this game the most, then the second, third, fourth, and fifth. Even though I like all of them anyway, and I tell you the other games I like I told you I liked Dallas over the Jets. This is the second week in a row that Dallas was the last team to get eliminated out of my pool of five. I mean, I flip flop back and forth on Seattle and Tampa Bay. I flipped flop back and forth on Kansas City, Jacksonville. But when I saw that Kansas City was getting 80% of the money, I went with Jacksonville. And it was very lucky that we got the win tonight. But you take them how you can get them. You take the points when you can because you're going to have. I mean, like I said, I was on Denver when they got the leverage call against the Colts. You lose games just like that. I wasn't on the Rams the week they lost to Philly, but that's got to be an ugly loss to lose the spread. Because even if they miss the field goal or block the field goal in that game, as long as there's no more points scored, you still win with the plus 3.5 of the Rams. And for him to return that thing for a touchdown, I'm glad I didn't have anything to do with that game. It's still in my mind. That's how outrageous that ending was. But so yeah, looking good in the contest, man. 14-11. Feeling confident. Feel like I'm seeing the board well. I mean, Seattle was up 7 with 3 minutes to go in that game. And even though on Saturday's show I did mention how I was concerned about the secondary for Seattle being thin with the injuries and those big body receivers for Tampa Bay, I kind of should have went back and listened to my own shit, and maybe I would have made the right decision. They were up 7 points with 3 minutes to go. If they make one stop and keep Tampa from scoring a touchdown, they win and cover. And then, it wasn't Darnold's fault. I mean, he was trying to just get rid of the ball, which was the smart play, and it just deflected off that guy's helmet and changed the trajectory to where David was able to intercept it. Otherwise, I think it's 2nd down and 10 if that ball doesn't bounce off of that defensive lineman's helmet. So it's hard to blame them for that, but the defense, man, I had and I mean, they couldn't stop Tampa Bay's offense. Tampa's offense couldn't stop Seattle's defense. If that game goes to overtime, if Seattle wins that coin flip, they're going to score. Actually, whichever team won the coin flip was going to score a touchdown and win that game. Because neither one of them defenses, Seattle or Tampa Bay, was doing shit. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. It was insane. If you had any fantasy players, I have Agubuka, so I have Baker Mayfield too, but I also had Sam Darnold, so I actually got points on both, but I ended up losing anyway. Rams fucked me, Derrick Henry fucked me, Alvin Kamara kind of let me down because he wasn't really effective. But man, what a weekend! What a weekend altogether. I mean the witching hour on Red Zone was just, you had to be watching it. I had it on the computer screen here and had the quad box going. And I'm like, I split the screen so I could add the games just so I could see the other games finish up. Because all the games were pretty much great. I mean, the Colts game, I I never count a win until the clock strikes zero. I don't care how good the team's doing because I've lost in so many outrageous ways in the past that until until the game is over and they're shaking hands and swapping jerseys and I've won, I don't count it as a win. I just stopped doing that because I've seen it. I've lost too many. But the Colts game at by the middle of the fourth quarter, I was pretty confident that they weren't going to fucking cover that spread, or they were going to cover that spread, that the Raiders weren't coming back, and so I switched off that game. But normally I won't do that. I'm superstitious like that, but I was pretty confident in that game. But the other games, all of them were sweats, man, big time sweats. All these comebacks. I mean, Denver was losing and did not look good for 3 quarters against Philly. Definitely going to have to readjust the power rankings on that. One, Philly should go up, although they're not looking too hot either. They just played. Their defense played really well for 3 quarters against Detroit or five, and for the second week in a row, the second week that they actually covered too. Um, and they just put it on them, man. Dak Prescott is playing out of his mind right now. You know what I mean? They just can't stop that. Their offense, they're playing awesome. I said George Pickens has taken the wide receiver one role, and he's running with it. And it's, even with him being the number one, you still got to respect his over the top speed, which opens everything up underneath. So they're just picking him apart. And the Jets, everybody I was seeing on some of the YouTube videos were saying Jets, 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 Jets. I really wasn't hearing a lot of people talking about Dallas, but I liked Dallas. So I'm glad they got the win and the cover. That was an exciting game. Another one of those big comebacks. The Panthers. Now they're 3.5. They're 2-0 at home. Shut out the Falcons and then beat the Dolphins. Kept scoring. Rico Dowell had a monster game against that very bad Miami Dolphins run defense. And that's what I said concerned me. I was concerned that Hubbard was out. It kind of turned me off that game. But I had liked the Panthers if he been playing. But Dowdle filled in just fine. And the offensive line was just fine. Now they're 3.5-point home dogs against the Cowboys. And not expecting a lot of defense with 49.5 total. Dallas's defense is... They've been all right against the run. It's passing that they were struggling with, and now they're getting helped more. I think they're going to slow each other down. There's going to be a lot of punting in this game. I would take the under. Take it now before it went up from 46.5 to 49.5. Maybe wait. Is there any 50s out there? No. Yeah, under in that game. We'll have to come back to that one on Thursday. Don't miss it. Eagles taking on the Giants. Sections on the Chargers and they were on Washington, and they lost outright. And now here they are. They were at home last week. Now they're on the road against the Dolphins, laying 4.5. McDonald has not got the confidence of ownership. Obviously, his mind is going to be half on the game and half on his job. Harbaugh's heat could be getting warm too if things keep going the direction they're going. After the last 2 games, the Giants and the Washington, losing to 2 NFC East teams. This is another one I'm struggling with. The Dolphins' defense is just so bad. Like but they got injuries. Their front four is not terrible, but they play undisciplined. I don't know. I would if you made me pick a side right now, I'd have to take the -4.5. And it opened at 2.5. It's gone up to 4.5. Got to get the Chargers while you can. 43.5. Low scoring game. Maybe take the points with Miami on this one. See if it goes up. Chargers have disappointed the bettors the last 2 weeks, though. People hate that. They hate that. You know, when you choose a team in 2 weeks in a row, 6.5 point favorite, and what were they, a 2 or 3 point favorite at home, and they lose outright. That means not only did you lose your spread bet, but there's those money line parlays and shit that were out there that they lose. Brewers are still winning 7-3, middle of the eighth. Baseball playoffs are still on. Seahawks and Jags. Jacksonville, just like I said, a Monday night, coming off that big win at home. Last second touchdown by that. Oh, when he tripped, when that center stepped on Lawrence's foot, oh my God, my heart jumped up into my throat. And then all of a sudden, he got up and started running, and I jumped out of my chair. I'm like, go, go. Oh, man. What a finish. But now everybody watched it. Everybody just watched them beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football in dramatic fashion. And everybody's seen how the Seahawks lost. I don't know. I don't know if that win for the Jags is going to propel them into a better place, and if the Seahawks loss is going to, they're going to lose this game because of the second game because of the first game, because they really played their asses off in that game against Tampa Bay, and the way they lost with that ridiculous interception at the end of the game there. That wasn't Darnold's fault. I mean, I saw on X that everybody was like, "Fucking Darnold," but it wasn't. I mean, he was making the right play. He threw it a little too low, and it hit that defender's helmet. So I don't know about this one yet. We're gonna have to see some of the injuries too with Jacksonville, because that was the backup center that was stepped on his foot on that touchdown play because the starting center was out. Got knocked out of the game. So we'll have to keep an eye on these injuries. Same thing with the Seahawks, because this is a tight spread right here. It's going to basically be a pick 'em if this doesn't really change much by the time we get to Thursday when the numbers are released. 46. Again, this seems like a fair number with these two teams. Both teams can score touchdowns. They have the guys. They have the ability to put points up quickly. It seems fair. See if it goes down. If it goes down, we'll probably take the over. See where that one lands. Browns and Steelers. Steelers off the bye week after the London trip where they won. Remember that? Seems like a lifetime ago. And the Browns were valiant in their effort against the Vikings, but couldn't get a stop on that final drive, and they lost the lead and the cover. They were covering for like 58 minutes or whatever it was, 59 minutes of that game. It's brutal. Brutal. Now they're getting 5 on the road against the Steelers. Dylan Gabriel didn't look very good, but he didn't look horrible either. Obviously, being a young quarterback, first game in an international stadium, it'll be tough. Now he's going to go on the road against the Steelers. The Colts got it done for us. Beat the Raiders down. Block punts, interceptions returned for touchdowns. Man, I nailed that. I nailed that call. Geno is just not playing well. The offensive line couldn't do anything for the Raiders, but this is a different animal with the Cardinals. He's a different type of quarterback. He's a scrambler. If that guy does, it's like the Colts the week before when they lost to the Rams. If that DeMarcado doesn't drop the ball at the goal line, they win that game. It's over. There's no mathematical way they were going to win that game because there just wasn't enough time left. And then they needed all that other fluky shit to happen just to get where they were able to kick that field goal at the end of the game. So They score that touchdown there. They wrap that game up. Then what is this spread? 3? Probably minus 3.5. They would Colts minus 3.5. The fishy line again. But now they're making you say the Colts are going to win by a touchdown. I don't know, man. I can't. The Colts, I think I've won twice with the Colts this year. And then they beat me, the one with Denver. I don't think I can go against the Colts as well as they're playing right now. Mm-mm. And this seems about right with this number. If you're going to have a lot of points, though, you kind of want to take the 6.5 with the Cardinals just because, if anything, you're going to get a backdoor. You're going to get backdoored with the 6.5 in this game because they'll keep scoring. The Cardinals can score points. They can score points. They didn't score any fucking points in the second half, but they should have. They should have at least scored 7. That's brutal. It's going to be a good game. Different conferences, so they don't really know each other. They don't play each other every year. It's going to be a good game. Patriots at the Saints. Patriots played their best game of the year, and they should get back some of the guys that were out this past week. I don't think they really. Oh, they lost Gibson, their running back. He's out for the year. That hurts. Saints get their first win at home. Plus 3.5. Hmm. I don't. I think. I don't know if. I think Caesar Ruiz went on IR. I'm not sure he'll be back this week. We'll look at that. But I'd probably go with the Patriots. Everybody watched them on Sunday night, though. They watched them win that game. And, the Saints beat the Giants, but they were losing. They had to come back in that game, too, down double digits at home. Right now, I'd say the Saints 3.5. Without looking into it too deeply, I haven't even watched the games back for these ones. Um, I say Saints plus the 3.5. They're at home. It'll be a close game to the end. The refs will make sure it is. Titans and Raiders. Titans get their first victory in the most insane way possible, and the Raiders get completely demolished, as I predicted. And now they are laying 4.5 to 5.5, depending on where you're at, to the Titans. Give me Tennessee in the points. I said it last week that the Titans will have more ATS wins than they actually have straight up wins. They're going to end up being that team. They're going to be like 2-15, 3-14, and they're going to end up being like 8-9 or 9-8 against the spread. So give me the full. If it gets up to 6, I would love that even more. 5.5, I'm taking Titans in the points against a very bad Raiders offense. Low scoring, give me the points. This has backdoor cover written all over it. 49ers and Buccaneers. Bucks coming off that huge win on the road. Defense couldn't stop anything. Offense couldn't be stopped. And in the 49ers, man, they looked good with Mac Jones and the backup singers. They really played well. The Rams did not play well. They committed too many penalties too. I think there was too many turnovers. It was just a sloppy game. Thursday night football seems to be sloppy, but it makes for interesting games. -3 at home. This is like right on the money right now. If you like the 49ers, wait and see if you can get the full 3.5. If you like the Buccaneers, wait and see if you can try to get -2.5, because either way, at 3, you almost have to take the 49ers plus the 3. Well, you don't have to, but this feels like a 3-point game to me. So, yeah, I'd probably want the Bucks minus the 2.5, but I don't know. Their offensive line is good, and their wide receivers are outstanding. I should have went with them. I knew that the Seahawks secondary was thin and that they were going to have trouble against those big Buccaneers wide receivers, especially if you give Baker Mayfield time. He's an accurate quarterback. And they're at home. And it's a day game, too. Well, it's an afternoon game, but it's still going to be muggy. It won't be too bad, though. I mean, it's October in Tampa, but it's not going to be like the cool weather of San Francisco. Yeah, give me the Bucks. They should have beat Philly. They won against Seattle. Give me the Bucks. They're playing well. Todd Bowles loves a good rock fight. He loves a good rock fight. The man will punt, play field position, and he doesn't care as long as they are within a field goal at the end of the game. If we can win the game with a field goal, that is right up his alley. I feel like that's the kind of game you're going to get. Bengals and Packers. Cincinnati really shit the bed with when they lost Burrow and went with Browning. They've got to get another quarterback in there. They really, and the Commanders. Commanders pulled off the shocking upset in LA against the Chargers. 2018 entries in the Millions contest, and they got an L. They got a no point. That -2 was the trap, man. That was like the cheese inside that box. Like I said, just like the Family Guy skit with the box and the pole. And inside that box was Chargers -2. And everybody ran up. They couldn't get to the number fast enough to put the Commanders in -2 against that hobbled Washington team. And nope. Washington came out firing. Now they're at home. Everybody saw that big upset. Now they're at home taking on the Bears, who are coming off the bye, and their big win in Vegas with the blocked field goal, and they're getting 4.5. I like the Bears plus the 4.5. I think that Vegas win is going to instill some confidence in this team. They got the pieces. They are a good team. Their defense, I need to see the injury report, though, because their defense was beat up. I mean, that's the only reason why the Raiders ran all over them. Because if they're still missing a bunch of the guys along the defensive front, the Commanders can run the ball. We saw that with Bill, the rookie running back. And then you got Jaden Daniels using his legs, opens up the passing game. So, yeah, we're going to have to look at the injury report for both of these teams, especially with the Bears coming off the bye. But as of right now, I would take the 4.5. Everybody saw this Commanders win the upset in L.A., and, you know, their mind's not on the fact that the Bears won in Vegas their last game. But those are the games coming up for Week 6. We will definitely be live streaming during the Thursday night football game for the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants for the Circa Million line release show, where we'll have a better idea of what the numbers are going to be, at least for the contest, and a better idea of what we're looking at as far as our Circa Millions card for Week 5. But we are 3-2 on the week, and we are 14-11 overall. Let me double check this right now, but while we're still streaming before I go, let's see if it updated or not. Okay, ooh, even better. So according to the website here, we are in 522nd place out of 5,600. 56% winning percentage, 14 points. So we are doing phenomenally. I'll do a quick check on the standings real quick. Now, obviously, these guys are killing it. 21 points each. Retchie, this is one of the first quarter winners. This is one of the first quarter winners, odd couple. 3 and 2. 20 points. But, I mean, look at this. 20, 21, 20. And then it drops down to 19. And you've only got 14 people there total. I mean, that's adding the other ones on. So what? 11 people with 19, 18. We're at 14. And let me just see where the money is, where it stops. 85 is probably going to be it. Yeah. So 6 looks like there's a lot of people tied at 85. They're tied at 16. So 16 points right now would put you inside the top 100. We have 14. We are 2 points off the pace of the money. We are 3 points off my own personal pace. I would like to be at 17 points right now. That's the ideal conditions that I have to get to 61, which is what my goal every year is to hit 60 points, because I know that's going to put me in the top 10. It's going to you're going to win 5 figures with 60 points. You can almost put that in the bank. And right now we are 2 points behind. So glad that Jacksonville was able to get us a dub. Finish the week off at 3 and 2. And we're in it. We're heading into week 6. We're 3 and 2 in the first week of the second quarter. We need another strong week. Got some interesting games coming up, so I'm excited. Be digging into all that. Finish watching this playoff game here and do some research on this week's outcomes, and have some better idea of where we're going on Thursday. And then, of course, you can join me on Saturday right here on YouTube for the Circa Picks release show and the watch party. We've got some interesting games this weekend. Couple of ranked teams going up against one another that will be sweating. We won the college watch party parlay last week. We got all 3 teams. We had the 2 overs and the under, and we ended up covering all 3 of them. Let me see this real quick. But to everybody out there, I hope you had a great evening. I hope your bets were winners. If you tailed, you went 3 and 2. If you were in Survivor and you got knocked out, sorry. That's a tough way to lose. But all right, thank you to everybody coming to join me on Late Night at the Lounge right here on Dead Money Sports. Signing off until Thursday.